Cleveland Browns faithful, welcome back on into the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. It is Jeffrey, and we are back in the catbird seat with the one and only Uncle Robert in the building. Uncle, long time no see. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you being a returning guest. Week 1 preseason of the Browns. We're going to talk Shedeur. We're going to talk Mason Graham. We're going to talk Carson Schlesinger. We're going to talk the rest of the preseason, how you see it playing out. We're going to just have a good conversation here. First of all, how are you doing? How did you enjoy week 1 of the preseason?
Well, first of all, nephew, it's great to be back. And let me start by saying, Shedeur, we've retired his number. I've got his jersey hanging. It's on the wall, of course, in the case. We took Bernie's jersey out and we replaced it with Shedeur's. Wonderful to be back. And week 1, everybody's overhyped. ESPN has gone crazy, and X has gone crazy. What else would you have expected? This is exactly what I saw happening. When Pickett and then Gabriel went down with what I'm still saying is a quote unquote questionable injury. And I'm going to tell you why Gabriel's questionable.
Okay.
His injury is questionable. Then Shedeur gets elevated to the starter spot. And then you got all these guys on ESPN. Oh, Shedeur didn't practice with the ones. He wasn't going to play with the ones. Why does it matter who he practiced with? Do you think it mattered who he practiced with?
No, I don't care. I don't care personally. I'm a personal responsibility type of person where it's like, all right, Flacco's, let's just take it to its logical conclusion. And the internet is not real life. Flacco, this is his 18th season, whatever it may be. He doesn't need preseason reps. I'm a big believer in preseason reps. Flacco is one of the rare instances where I'm like, all right, this guy doesn't need preseason reps.
No,
that's fine. I'll concede that. Pickett comes up a little bit limp. Gabriel comes up a little bit limp, which we will discuss, it sounds like. So your next logical conclusion is, I thought that the Huntley signing was hilarious, but, the more I had a brief conversation with you and it started to make sense a little bit. So I got that from a logistical standpoint, but you might as well have Flacco get the reps against the first team in the combined practices. That was the big hubbub. Oh, Shedeur is not getting this in the... I'm going to be honest with you. It's the preseason of the National Football League, and you're a 4th, 5th round pick, 144th pick, whatever he was. You got to go out there and make something happen to yourself, regardless if you're throwing to the Water Boys or if you're throwing to Jerry Jeudy. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. And he did. And let's clarify. He made some plays, and let me say that. But I'm not ready to anoint Here's what's happening now. ESPN, the pressure is on Cleveland. Okay, you understand what's happening. The pressure is on Cleveland because now Shedeur has proven in one game against the Panthers' vanilla high school defense, they weren't showing anything. It was base coverages. Okay, he has proven that he is legendary. So now the pressure, if whether it's Flacco or Pickett, if they don't come out and throw for 4 touchdowns every game, Skip Bayless, Stephen A., all of them are going to be calling Stefanski an idiot. Do you agree?
I do agree. I do agree with you, but I think this is where me and you get the diversion, because and anything can happen. I think that is it's the NFL. It's if they start out 0-6, I could see Stefanski getting fired. Don't get me wrong in that regards. However, I think there's an internal understanding in the organization, a wink, a nod, a thumbs up, that they don't really care about that. And I'm going to go back to this guy. He was supposed to be a top 3, top 5 pick, fell all the way to where he fell. I still think, believe it or not, even after the preseason performance, which was good, by the way, everyone will agree with that. 14 to 23, 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. He looked good, and he looked poised, and he didn't look like lucky good. He looked like stuff was happening because it was supposed to be happening that way. That's the best way I could describe it. Even if it was against the ones, the Panthers defense vanilla, I totally agree with you there. It's the Panthers at the end of the day. I would love to see I would love to see all of our quarterbacks against like any AFC team. Sorry, any AFC North team. That's where I'm at. But it's like, I don't think the organization is going to care. They've already, and I can't even really say, I don't even know what words to use, but like, that's kind of the flip side of the Watson thing. Can it get any worse than what the fire and the heat and brimstone you've been under since acquiring Watson? They're sitting there thinking, oh, skip. These people want Shedeur to start. Who cares? That's where I'm at.
Yeah. You said it. I think you said it. We were texting last week. The Browns don't care about the narrative. They don't care about the narrative. Okay, so let me say this. You've got Shedeur had a nice game. They brought Snoop in because somebody had to play, and people were up in arms. Huntley. Somebody else had to play. Right. Now, why didn't you dress Flacco? Why didn't you? I understand why they didn't dress Flacco. Flacco's 40 years old. Why risk it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could have played Shedeur the whole game, but blah, 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 blah. Now, here is where I sort of question what Stefanski is doing. If you noticed in week 1, a lot of teams played their starters. Andy Reid has been doing it for years, okay?
Absolutely.
And we cannot afford to come out of the gate slow because of our gauntlet. So while Flacco does not need reps, I'll agree with you there. Pickett, who is my boy, that hamstring better clear up quick, okay?
Right.
Everybody else should have taken some snaps. Even number 95. And I know a lot of people think I'm nuts, but he should have been out there. He's the leader of the pack. He should have been out there for one series. If he's that precious, God forbid, that precious, but because, Jeffrey, nothing has worked. These guys stand on the sidelines for 3 preseason games, and we have been garbage. They need to be tougher. I was at spring training the last week, and it was much more physical than it was the year before.
Yeah, they're tackling. This is the first Stefanski outfit to tackle. I heard that news. I said, wait, this is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yes. Now, we heard why. You know, Stefanski's first year, it was COVID, so all of everything was virtual meetings, blah, 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 this and that. And then it kind of wasn't his fault. Whatever. This team needs to toughen up. I'm glad they were tackling. So let's stay on the quarterbacks for a minute.
Yep.
All of a sudden, a couple days, I don't know when exactly, Gabriel came up hurt. But all of a sudden, Gabriel's on the injury report. My opinion, Gabriel was on the injury report because I think they're going to keep this kid under wraps as long as he wasn't ready to play against the Panthers. That's my opinion.
Running cover.
I think they're running cover because Gabriel is not. Well, first of all, he can't throw the ball over the offensive line. He can't see over the line. That's the first thing. I think that he's struggling. And he's Browns,
listed at 5'11", which is hilarious because I doubt he's 5'11".
I think that's a phantom injury there. And maybe listen, I've got a lot of faith in Tommy Rees and Stefanski. But I think right now they're trying to figure out what to do with this kid, and he hasn't. From the little bits and pieces that I've heard, he hasn't picked it up quite as quickly as Shedeur.
Interesting. Let me run through some points here. Back to the playing in preseason. My qualifications that I've officially made up on the spot right now is if you should be exempt, and this is the hard ass approach. Nobody, very rarely, but you should be exempt from playing if you are a future Hall of Famer. That's my position. Flacco, Miles, and I think Joel Bitonio maybe would qualify. Everybody else, Judy should be playing. Or obviously, if you're hurt, different story. Number 2, I go back to this most recent draft, and when I look at our big board, and I just remember observing the draft, regardless of what happens, I always dislike the Gabriel pick. I didn't understand it after the rest of the offseason transpired. And to be honest with you, I think it's very interesting when the Browns, everybody wants, and these people are smart most of the time, everybody wants the Browns to draft the guy from Ohio State. I'm on board for that for the most part. It's the Big Ten. It's a good, if it's a wide receiver, sign me up. Like, yes, like give me Jeremiah Smith next year. No doubts, no qualms. But me and you both sat there and watched that game that Ohio State played against Oregon multiple times last year, mind you. And the first contest they lost, correct?
Yes.
But it was a kind of variance, and like that game was on the road and it was bad. It just that game was interesting to say the least. But when when Ohio State won the second time, 41-21, I'm sitting here and Gabriel he's like the moxie guy. Like, he wasn't screaming undrafted to me, but he wasn't screaming third rounder wherever we got him.
Absolutely.
He's left-handed. He's small. He's left-handed. He's already at a deficit. Even if you do have the success, like on-field success, like a Tua, you're fragile and you're a little bit banged up and you're susceptible to the concussions. And my left-hand model for quarterbacks is like, you should be like a Mike Vick model. And he's definitely not that.
No.
So if they're running cover for him because he's not there yet, one, I would not be surprised. That would not surprise me in the slightest if of all organizations, this one did something like that. 2, I think if they didn't have Shedeur, I think they would have played him, because then they could have put let's play Gabriel talk to bed after 3 weeks or 4 weeks if we're 0-4. But that's already been superseded. I think that's where they'd let the Sanders positive media and PR help them, where it's like, hey, they're already not going to Gabriel. I don't even think they were going to Gabriel anyway. You might as well sell the tickets, sell the jerseys. I don't understand. I still don't understand. Nobody from the front office or the ownership group has explained to the fans why they drafted both of them. And I don't know if they had a reason. If it was just Sanders was there and Haslam's likes, the drama and the name and Coach Prime. That's it to me. I don't have anything else besides that.
Supposedly the pick came down to Barry. Barry made the pick. He could not pass it up, and he could not pass him up. We're talking about Shedeur in the 5th round. Now, this Gabriel pick in the 3rd round, for some reason, and I don't have in front of me who was picking right behind the Browns with that 97th pick or whatever. They had hot nuts. They were on fire to pick him right there. And I do not know, because I've said this before. He was there at 97. I would have bet he was there at 197.
Absolutely.
Because there was a lot of other quarterbacks I would have taken. But for some reason, they saw something in this guy. They did a ton of homework on this kid. They spent a lot of time with this kid, which we found out later on. And it will be a perplexing question that if Shedeur works out, it won't matter. But if Shedeur doesn't matter, because here's the thing, Jeffrey, Jimmy Haslam is is the man's he's a snake oil salesman.
For sure.
He's moving to Berea in 4 years. Whatever. Can you see legendary on the billboard? I mean, talk about selling jerseys, selling. I mean, it is a marketing monster. Okay. But is Dylan Gabriel? Now, I don't know.
And that's where I'm at with the organization. Like the Haslams, to me, if you just think from a logical perspective, and yes, they come on like this. Oh, we're interested in winning. I don't it's not like I don't believe them. They don't like put their best foot forward to like back it up with actions. But to me, the Haslam's the main priority right now, and has been for the whole year, however long it's been going on, has been moving the stadium. Anything that happens from now until Brook Park, it would just be cherry on top for them. As far as what they're looking at, they're ready to move. They're ready to start having concerts and all this other stuff. And they're ready to start generating revenue over there. They're just happy they outsmarted Bibb and just outmaneuvered the city and just got out of there. Basically they don't care about this year. They definitely don't care about this year. I don't know what their plan is for next year, if they have any. And then by the time these next 2 years are done, you're looking at what? You're looking at 2027, 2028. And then they'll be talking, oh, this is almost ready. And they'll be advertising and then they'll be advertising season for the new stadium. What is very interesting to me, and I wonder if Barry and Stefanski and whoever thought they could get away with trading one of these guys. And then because the Michael Silver report, which I'm not sure if I'm sure you might have seen, but he said that the Browns rejected multiple trade offers for Dylan Gabriel already this preseason. So that was after taking Shedeur. That was after all this transpired. So are they trying to were they pulling the wool over everyone's eyes, even though he wasn't that ready? Is that, who knows what's true in reporting? Somebody says one thing, the other person says he can't even get on the field. He can't even throw the ball past the line.
Is it noise? Right. Is it news or noise? Right.
Yes. Signal or noise. It's very it's very bizarre, but anything else for the quarterbacks?
Well, hold on. About Jimmy. Here's what I believe. When we were in this disaster of a season last year, I truly believe Jimmy listens to, unfortunately, a lot of other owners and a lot of other people around the NFL. And he came from where you're at. He was a minority owner of the Steelers, who are a model of consistency.
Correct.
They're slow and steady. And I said this on your show, on the show that I was doing, that Jimmy had heard if Barry and Stefanski got fired, they both would be hired before they left the parking lot in Berea.
Right.
Stefanski would have a job before he was out on the highway. So Jimmy is trying to give these guys, he's hoping, he's putting his eggs in their basket, and he's just going to let them. And as much as I don't care for the guy, I appreciate that he is giving these guys, and I love Stefanski. Barry, he's questionable, and especially his character choices. I mean, we could do a whole show on Andrew Barry's how they do a background check, or they don't do a background check. I mean, maybe he went to the Al Davis school of background checks. The last thing I will say on the quarterbacks, I still have unwavering faith that Kenny Pickett is going to start week 1, but no matter what, it's either Pickett or Flacco. There's no way Shedeur is starting week 1. No. There's no way. Now,
unless they're both hurt.
Unless they're both hurt, and that would be disaster, because for these kids, You don't want them to come in there and start week 1.
Absolutely not with this lineup of games.
Nah, no, which we're gonna talk. I want to talk about that.
Murderers row.
You had, Quinn Ewers played. He looked terrible. Cam Ward. I mean,
that's my thing though. Like, why don't you just throw Gabriel out there? Like, I don't know. I get your line of thinking with it. He's like that far away, and they just be like, oh, we don't want to waste, like, make it seem like this third was so unjustified. But it's like 2 drives, 1 drive isn't going to kill the kid's rep. He goes 0 for 3, and it's a 3 and out, and they punt. It's a 4 and out, whatever.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see him against the. I doubt you'll see him against the. We better see Kenny against the Eagles.
It should, absolutely. And just to refresh everyone's memory, the original draft hubbub that was allegedly was the Seahawks took Milrow at 92. And apparently we got nervous because Barry liked Milrow and we took Gabriel at 94. That was a lot of the original reporting from draft night. Don't know if it's true. Don't know the validity, but you think Milrow projects to the NFL a little bit better than Dylan Gabriel. That's my opinion. But
now, how did Milrow look? I saw he got some reps. Do you know how he looked the other night?
No, I did not actually.
Okay.
That is interesting though. But it's like, hey, Alabama, Oregon. My Milrow optimism was that I had an inkling that was probably the last or second last recruiting class under Saban. Even though he didn't coach the kid a whole lot, that still said a lot to me as far as, okay, maybe this guy has a shot, considering Saban was the same program who recruited to the same program who got Jalen Hurts to go there. So that's like at least intriguing to me. He was 6 of 10 for 61 yards.
Yeah, serviceable.
He had 10 attempts, 77.5 rating.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on. Let's move over to the defensive side of the ball, because in typical Cleveland Browns fashion, let me set my emotional and mental table here, because if this was a normal football franchise that wasn't cursed, I would be saying that our win total is way too low just because of our defense alone. And B, I would actually be excited to watch that half of the football. I'm not excited really to watch special teams. Ventrone is still employed by us. So that's like, I might as well just go to the fridge or go to the microwave during punts and kick returns and all that stupidity.
Future head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, at the Senior Bowl. At the Senior Bowl, 7th year eligibility from COVID as Senior Bowl head coach. Offense going to be a mixed bag. Offense was even, maybe a little bit of optimism until, the Quinshaw and Judkins episode, which of course. But at the end of the day, Uncle, you could have got me involved. You could have got me on close to the edge of my seat with a secondary that looks like Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, an up-and-coming rising star in Grant Delpit, and someone who we wanted to see a bounce-back season from in Martin Emerson. All right, that has already gone out the window in cursed Cleveland fashion.
Of course.
Follow me along here. I could have been very, very intrigued with a linebacker room that included not only Jordan Hicks, but JOK and a rookie in Carson Schlesinger. Well, it looks like it's just going to be the rookie from here on out, because JOK is probably not playing this year, and Jordan Hicks has a phantom retirement in the middle of camp. So no shade to any of those guys, obviously. I like Jordan Hicks. JOK, obviously Pro Bowler, thought he had a long horizon career ahead of him. Something can change in one play in this sport. That's the nature of the beast.
Sadly.
All I have to look back on is Miles, Mason Graham, Alex Wright, flashes of Mike Hall, Collins, I believe is his name. That was an offseason acquisition.
Malik Collins.
The defensive line is interesting. So where are you at with this unit, and where do you hope they are by the time we get to week 1?
I think that this defense has the makings of the best This defensive line has the makings of the best defensive line we've ever had. So much so that I put a little pizza money on Myles Garrett breaking the sack record, over 23 and a half sacks at DraftKings last week.
That's a high number.
It's a high number, but listen, if things worked out the way that I thought, that I think, and chances are it won't happen, but this is
Sure.
a lottery ticket, okay? But this defensive line, if if things don't go in typical Cleveland fashion, it can work out that way. It's our defense can carry this team if our offense is serviceable. And I mean, if our offense isn't going three and out, and
Right.
our
Yeah.
offense isn't throwing interceptions three, four times a game, and our defense, here's what happens with Jim Schwartz's defense last year was solid, okay? But what happens is when you're on the field for 40 minutes out of the game, you wear down, you get tired, okay? You blow coverage, and
Yep.
then your defense isn't as good, okay? This Carolina game, which was preseason, it, well, people ask me, what do you think about the defense? You know what I thought? The defense was nice because to me, it looked like everybody did their job. And if
Mm.
you could have a game, whether it's preseason, whether if they just, especially in preseason, if you get these kids to do their job, to me that's tremendous. I mean, I
Yep.
didn't see a lot of blown coverages. I didn't see big plays. Now, of course, I wasn't sitting there dialed into every single play, but I did not see last year. Our preseason was atrocious. We were giving up big play after big play after big play. So this defense here, if we could lock down in this defensive line, this defense could really be something special.
Honestly, I definitely agree with you. I think this could be the best defensive line Myles Garrett has ever played on, even with some of those clowny years and a couple other. I mean, it's really not hard to top. It's not like he's played with a lot of good pass rushers on next to him.
Clowney was a shell of what he should have been.
Obo Okoronkwo. I mean, come on. It's like flash in the pan, couple plays a season.
And this Schlesinger kid is going to be, I mean,
Look smart.
Pray to God that nothing happens to him.
Yep.
Because this kid is going to be something, man. Him and Mason Graham, kick Mason Graham's ass and keep getting him into shape. And I
he
think
looks good. He lost 10 pounds. Mary Kay said today, lost 10 pounds.
And he's got to keep losing. Bulk him up and get some muscle on him. Get rid of the flab.
But I mean, you're looking at it here like let's get involved here, because I'm not trying to be like that person that is just not paying attention, but it's like after some point, it's like after JOK, like who do you have here at some point? So here's your unofficial depth chart for week 2. Miles, Tryon Shoyinka, Cam Thomas, okay, Collins, Shelby Harris, like that's good. Collins and Shelby Harris is a good player.
Yep.
Graham, and then Kamara, who's allegedly had a good camp. Allegedly. Mason Graham, okay. Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire.
McGuire.
This is the year where our defensive line is sneakily good, and nobody gives Andrew Berry props for like putting that depth together when he really has at the end of the day.
Yep.
Like we got Michael Jr. all the way over here. He's going to be allegedly, hopefully playing a bigger role than that. But like, this is just weak down here. Like Jerome Baker is interesting. I don't know how much he has, but I forgot we signed him low key. Diabate, Devin Bush, like this is weak. And then
they were happy when they re-signed Devin Bush, and I was
I know they were. But it's like, all right, KZ, Delpit and Ward, Newsome just can't be a bum, and the secondary should be serviceable. I'm just very concerned that
no depth,
and with Graham being a rookie up the middle, I'm still concerned, and I feel like I've been concerned since Kevin Stefanski and the revolving door, and I say revolving, but it's only been a couple of them, but the multiple defensive coordinators, I've been concerned every year week 1 about stopping the run, and I don't believe it's any different. Schlesinger could be that guy, but JOK was that guy, and JOK was your You draft JOK because you count your lucky stars and you hope to see, well, you don't hope to see, but you hope if you see a Lamar in the playoffs or a Mahomes in the playoffs, that is who JOK really, really is. So it's interesting. Like, I agree with you. That defensive back, like Delpit is in, they're all injury prone. Everyone's injury prone in the NFL, but it's like Ward is 15 concussions and Newsome is not very good. And Newsome was good 2 years ago. And then that's my thing with the Emerson injury. It's like, I don't expect you to be making a big play, like to solidify a wild card spot for us, but he just did not have that good of a year last year. And you feel for the kid when he just loses a whole extra year after not playing good last year.
No. And your buddy, Dustin Hopkins missed a kick on the other night. What are we going to do here?
I was having such a mellow and nice summer and doing, all this and that. And then these idiots have to raise my blood pressure. I forgot he even existed until he stepped out onto the field and missed the extra point. So I don't. Ventrone, though, future head coach. Don't forget that.
Future head coach. Now they got this other kid, Zamet or whatever. You got him. Yeah. But I don't know. You go just because you gave Hopkins that contract, you go into the season with him. You can't let him cost you games. We knew what he was doing last year. You were 3-14 and he was missing kicks. You can't do it this year. No way. There's no way.
Is this kid a rookie, Zamet?
No, he was here last year.
Cremon Schmidt.
He was here last year.
Okay. I mean, you still have Bajorquez. It's like, oh my gosh, if you want to carry water for the organization, it's like they've at least tried to have some stability.
Let me tell you something. We were leaving training camp, and my son, we saw a couple of guys walking towards us, and my son says, and they still had their uniforms on, and one of my sons says, "Hi, Corey." I says, "How the hell do you know who that was?" He says, "Look at his thighs." So they had passed us. I turn around. This guy, you could tell a kicker, man. This guy, kickers have, his legs were twice the size of anyone else. But Bojorquez has some. But
Bojorquez is a good punter.
He's a good punter, and I'm like, where the hell's Hopkins?
MIA.
Anyhow, but special teams, future head coach.
Jesus Christ.
Bubba Ventrone.
He'll be the scapegoat this year. We'll lose 2 or 3 games because special teams, and we'll have like 5 or 6 wins, and it's all, we're a couple special teams plays away from a wild card bid.
What do you figure about wide receivers?
Well, let's say Njoku returns to as good as he could be. I'm really less concerned about them than other position groups, and they're not like that talented, which is the weird part. If Tillman could stay on the field, if Fannin could play his role, and like this is another thing here, Uncle. Like, I'm excited about this offense if Judkins has a whole and we're not going through this. Like, Judkins, Ford, Sampson, a quarterback who isn't stupid, Judy, Tillman, and Njoku, Fannin. Like, I'm at least I could be excited for that. Like, maybe until the bye. Not like, all right, not really anymore. If Njoku's going to be mentally checked out, if Fannin is going to be out there to block, like, go ahead.
Okay, here's what. Watching Deontay Johnson on the practice field, I'm telling you, if he can keep his head screwed on,
I can't count on him though. I agree. He needs to have a good year with us, but I can't count on it.
But that's a big if. If he can keep his head screwed on, that kid still has a ton of talent. Okay. And then here's another thing. The offensive line, which I've gone to training camp probably the last several years, obviously not during COVID, but this new offensive line coach, there was 9 offensive linemen in camp, and he had all of these guys lined up after he was doing drills with them, and he was working these guys. He was working them hard, and I'm telling you, this is stuff that I have not seen. Last year, when Deshaun was there, it was a dog and pony show. It was a ballet. Nobody was doing much. This was physical. This offensive line coach, and I'm telling you, these 9 guys seemed like they liked each other. They were working hard. They were physical. So, to me, that says a lot. It means a lot. Hopefully, it'll translate. I don't know, but I'm excited. Last year I didn't drink the Kool-Aid because I couldn't stand number 4.
Sure.
This year I have totally bought the Kool-Aid, and whenever we bring this home, and I'm going to tell you why this year I really think that they're going to surprise a lot of people. That's my opinion.
And you get the benefit of the low expectations too. I mean, no one is expecting this team to do anything. Last year was a total flip side. To remind folks of, it was only 3 short seasons ago. And granted, I had to go back and fact check this because I thought that this was the case, and I was correct. In 2021, Deontay Johnson, in 14 starts, he played in 16 games, 107 receptions, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, Pro Bowler. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, a lot of those receptions came from Big Ben Roethlisberger before he retired, which even at the end of his career, I mean, it's like probably better than any QB we have on our roster currently. Flacco could put up some good numbers with Deontay Johnson. That's the concern with the wide receiver group. How much of their success and numbers last year was because they were positively impacting the game compared to Jameis was just throwing the ball 50 times. That's where I have to see with the wide receiver group. But before we wrap up here, I just want to take a quick look at the first 6 contests of the year. It's just not great. It's not looking amazing. So, and let's play a little devil's advocate. Let's play both sides of the coin. So, you're week 1, you're at home opener. Cool. That's actually cool. You play the Bengals pretty good. Let me go. I'll run through them and all that. So then I'll throw it over to you. You split with the Ravens last year. Okay. You know, it's a division game, division games. Packers, you have at home at least. The Lions game. Okay. That's probably, they lost some of their coordinators. Who knows how they're going to be the first month of the season. Do you really get high powered offenses into gear in September? Does it take them a little bit longer? Blah, 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 blah. If I'm just playing good guys for the Browns, the Vikings, mixed bag. You get them at home. Not really sure what they're going to look like. You're going to have to play defense against them, interestingly enough. And then you have 3 divisional games in the first 6 weeks, and you're at Pittsburgh on the 12th, which it's like, hey, there you go as Aaron Rodgers goes as far as my concern.
Okay. Now here's, I hate to say, must win, cliche, blah, blah, blah. Week 1 could set the tone and will set the tone for the entire year.
Okay.
Last year, everybody had, playoffs, Deshaun, the Browns are going to be ESPN. Everybody was talking so much about the Browns. The expectations are low this year.
Super
Week
low.
1, you set the tone. Okay. The Bengals do not win in September. It's just a fact. You go out, you beat the Bengals week 1. That's absolute must win. You have got to have that game, okay?
And has anybody been more dysfunctional this offseason? Maybe us, but besides Cincinnati, are they going to have Trey Hendrickson, or they just signed their rookie? It's like come on, like this is a liable opponent that you could really punch in the mouth here week 1 if you're serious about doing anything this year.
The Bengals have Joe Burrow, Jamar. They have offense. Their defense has not improved. Their defense is terrible.
May have gotten worse.
Wait a minute. Shamar Stewart, last I heard, he was going back to college.
No, he signed.
Did
last
he sign?
week,
Okay,
last week or 2 weeks prior. But it's like you still are talking about a guy who hasn't had a full camp. And Hendrickson is working out in Florida. That is no resolution, I don't believe.
No. Okay, so week 2, you win week 1. Week 2, That's going to be a tough one. Week 3, the Packers. We always play the Packers tough. Week 4, the Lions. A lot of people are still high on the Lions. I look for regression from the Lions for the simple fact Dan Campbell is a great cheerleader. He's a rah meathead. He's a great cheerleader. But the guys that were running we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. But the guys that were really calling the shots, doing all the dirty work,
The soft skills.
One of them's in New York and the other one's in Chicago.
Yep.
Now, let's see how long it will take the guys that he replaced them with to get everything. I mean, there's a ton of talent. Don't get me wrong. The Lions are going to win games just on talent alone.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. They're high-powered.
But that's a winnable game. Now, the Vikings game, if I'm not mistaken, that's in London.
Yeah, 9:30 a.m. Yep.
9:30. Now they have the advantage of.
That's amazing. I wish every game would start at 9:30. I will be done and I'll be a brunch by the time after that game's over. That's a great start time.
Love a 9:30 start time. Now here's the thing: there's a lot of hype around that outfit. JJ McCarthy, I've seen throws in practice. You know, he's throwing dimes and this and that. I'm not convinced about JJ McCarthy. So I really, really think that's a game we could win. And then here you go, week 6. I'm salivating here because as long as Aaron Rodgers is back there, if he's still back there in the wheelchair, I love our chances.
Me too.
Because I think they're doing themselves a disservice by playing that guy. That guy in his ayahuasca doing goofy ass, silly ass, he should hang it up. Now, I know Will Howard, I heard, is banged up, but he's holding Will Howard and the Steelers back. He's been quiet so far. He hasn't said a whole lot. He's not, the Steelers have kind of done a good job of keeping his mouth quiet, but Rodgers is not going to be good in Pittsburgh. That's a game, if Rodgers is playing, which I don't even know if he'll still be, if he's still the quarterback by week 6, I'll be mildly surprised.
Okay.
What do you think? You think he's going to succeed?
No. I don't think he's it's just like the Russell Wilson experiment was so bizarre in its own right that I'm finding it hard to put the pieces together where they have a better year at quarterback than they did last year. And I thought they had a very mixed bag last year at quarterback last season. So it's like the thing with Rodgers is you're hoping that he stays healthy. Like if I'm their front office, their organization, if I'm there in their strategy sessions, I'm sitting here thinking, let's just hope he stays healthy. Tomlin gets us 8 or 9 wins, and then he dials back the clock in the postseason and wins us a couple of games and gets us off the schneid of not being a winning team in the playoffs. That's if I'm in their top level office meetings. I don't think he's going to make it to the playoffs personally. And if it's stuff starts going left there, he's the one guy where it's like every year, people around me, all this people that we talk to on this show, and no discredit to anyone because I hear their thought process and I hear their opinion as well. Every year. So I hear it from Steelers fans. This is the year we go. This is the year that the Steelers they're dead. They're dead in the water. They're 3-4 win team. It never happens. Aaron Rodgers, and this is I'm putting my neck out. I'm putting my neck out there, even though I just said that this was a silly thing to do. I think Aaron Rodgers is the guy that could do it. Because if they're like if they're like 1-4 and he's on the Pat McAfee show, he could derail it. Like Russell Wilson wasn't that guy. The people they've had in the past haven't been that good to go and be that guy. They haven't had the egos. They haven't had the accessibility to the media. They haven't had everybody watching their every move. He's the guy that could do it.
And can you see him? The running back they drafted. Who's the kid that the running back?
What's his name? Caleb something. Caleb Johnson.
Okay, he's going to be in the running for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good. Can you see in Pittsburgh will dial it down and be a grinded out, pounded out offense? Can you see Rodgers standing for that. Can you see him handing the ball off 40 times a game and not pouting? No way.
I mean, him and DK Metcalf are interesting. I don't think it would be any different than him and George Pickens. And I do think DK Metcalf is a better football player, but it's like,
without a doubt,
it's like, you rob Peter to pay Paul. Like Caleb Johnson, or even Aaron Rodgers in the wheelchair, DK, some of their, I don't know, I think their tight ends are largely overrated, but DK and Pickens, I'm like, okay, that's like serviceable. Like that's a better wide receiving core than they have in Baltimore, in my opinion. But no,
Fryermuth and Jonnu Smith. I mean,
Darnell Washington, they're another bunch of idiots with 4, 5, 6 tight ends. So
yeah.
All right, let's wrap up here. I don't want you to forget your point. So let's go ahead with whatever you got to get off your chest here. We'll be back. It's only August 11th. We got a month here, but I know you wanted to say something. You got something on your mind.
What did I think that was week 1.
That was it. That was it.
That was week 1 was a must win.
That was what you were talking about earlier. You said we were wrapping up.
Set the tone, and that was week 1 is, and I hate to say that a must win, but I believe if we beat, and when Kenny Pickett and the Browns beat the Bengals week 1, this outfit will make the playoffs. And everybody that I say this to, they think I'm nuts, because every year you look and you see there's teams that nobody's thinking right now are going to be in the playoffs. And I'm telling you now, the Atlanta Falcons, look out for the Falcons. Michael Penix is going to have a break. He's going to have a breakout year. I think people are talking, the Panthers are terrible. The Panthers are going to have a good year.
I would love Bryce Young late into a fantasy draft. Late.
Oh, he's going to have a good year. So why can't the Browns too?
Because we're the Browns.
Maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid this year, but last year I wasn't, because of number 4. I couldn't stand the negative aura. That guy was evil. And why he's still on the sidelines now with his number 4 hat, get rid of that.
Imagine if this is the outfit that turns around and wins the division. Could you imagine?
They can do it, I'm telling you.
This is the best part about the NFL, and this is why the NFL is king. Like, they say, like baseball, America's pastime. Like, yeah, because it's in the past. NBA, no club. How about Goodell? How about that savagery? He goes, the NBA isn't our competition. Apple and Google are. Oh my, just destroyed though. Oh, just Adam Silver lizard just destroyed his ass. Oh my God. But it's like, you get hyped up because everybody's 0-0. You've seen crazier things happen. You've seen a team that has no business, the Cinderella story. This was NFL is good at. So,
Yep.
Okay, Uncle. Thanks for being back. Appreciate all the input.
This is great. Let's do this more often. And
absolutely.
Yes,
sir. Let's do it on Mondays. We'll get it set up here. All right, guys. If you've been here this long, like button, comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed. And we appreciate you being the pulse of it all.